ఉంది ఇప్పుడు
ప్రెసెంట్ ఆఫ్ లో ఉంది సార్.
ఆఫ్ లో ఉన్నది సార్.
వచ్చినాడే
వాళ్ళిద్దరు చూడండి. ఓకే
కాదు 11:40 సార్ 10:45 స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం.
వస్తుంది
వినపడతాను బాగా వెరీ క్లియర్.
Yes, sir. Is it, sir? Second, you press
మన వాళ్ళకి ఎవరో జాయిన్ అవుతాంటారా?
Yes, sir. Complete.
Sir, good morning, sir. Ravindana, sir.
Very good morning to all of you.
Sir, we will start in another 10-15 minutes, sir. I'm waiting for the others to join, sir.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
ఎక్కడుంది ఇలా చాలా నేమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అది ఎక్కడుందో నేను చూస్తున్నా. రైట్, ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే, రైట్. వాట్ ఎల్స్ నౌ?
Officials will going to join after some time because the parallelly another program is going on by VU. So that's why we may start this program now.
Iswar Reddy sir is there?
Yes, sir, I'm here only.
Okay, welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Now,
Sir, I'm
please,
your student, if you remember me.
రైట్, ఓకే.
Yeah.
Sir, mobile and app.
లేదు, ఆయనది.
ఓకే, ఆల్ రైట్. కుడ్ యు హియర్ మీ?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ఓకే.
Yeah. Good morning to everyone. Honorable Vice Chancellor.
అరే, రిసౌండ్ అవుతుంది.
అవును సార్.
దే హ్యావ్ టు మ్యూట్, ఇట్స్ రిసౌండింగ్.
టేబుల్ మీద ఉన్న మా ఆడియో దాంట్లో కూడా మ్యూట్ చేయాలి, ఎందుకంటే అది ఒకే హాల్లో ఉంది కదా. మీ పక్కన ఉంది కదా రామిరెడ్డి గారు, అక్కడ సెంటర్ సార్.
Yes, yes.
Good morning to everyone. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor M. Surya Kalavati, respected Registrar Professor Vijay Prasad, President of the workshop, Professor Krishna Reddy, Principal of the YU College, key speaker of today's workshop, no need of introduction, is the giant pillar of YU University, Professor Ajula Reddy, and another key speakers, Professor Ravindranath, Usmania University, and UGC Expect Committee member, Dr. Iswar Ramireddy, Iswaraya Ramireddy, Isaac Tirupati, faculty members, researchers, and media friends. It's an immense pleasure to welcome you all for this one-day stakeholder consultative workshop on research internship at UG and PG program level. First of all, I would like to say sorry for a bit delay due to parallelly another program is going on YU campus. Sorry for that, and authorities may be joined after some time. As part of National Education Policy NEP 2020, UGC initiated to conduct this kind of workshop to get the feedback from the stakeholders on research internship with faculty at higher education institute. Coming to ours, we are going to discuss about the implementation of this research internship in UG and PG colleges. What is the selection procedure? How this research internship is going to benefit the students' career? How to get the support, support in the sense of financial support as well as the logistics to conduct this program. Role of faculty with our and other support from the government agencies. To this, we are going to discuss with our esteemed speakers and esteemed academicians. Coming with this brief introduction, I would like to welcome you again, and it's time to hand over this event to the convener, Dr. N.V. Ramireddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar, for welcoming the guests. As our Vice Chancellor Madam, Registrar and Principal Sir will join in another 5-10 minutes because of other program. So we will go ahead with our program schedule. They will come and join and they will give their message a little bit later. Now I request Professor Ravindranath sir to give a brief overview of about this workshop. Over to you, sir. Professor Ravindranath sir, are you there, sir?
Yeah, just I am coming.
Okay.
So, good morning to all of you. Of today's webinar, and Honorable Professor Surya Kalavati, Vice Chancellor Yogi Vemana University of the Andhra Pradesh, and the chief guest of today's event. And Professor D. Vijay Rao Prasad, Registrar YVU, and the guest of honor of the function, and Professor A.R. Reddy, the former Vice Chancellor of YVU, and distinguished speaker of the today's event, and other invited speaker, Dr. Ishwaraya, Isar Tirupati, and Dr. G. Chandrasekhar, and Dr. N. Venkatram Reddy, and invitees and participants of the consultative workshop on research internship at UG and PG program level. So this this particular activity is being initiated by the UGC as a part of policy framework in tune with the NEP 2020 to develop guidelines for research internship at UG and PG degree level. So with faculty and researchers at higher education or research institutions or industries, mainly aiming to provide a hands-on training in research methodologies and learning other aspects of pursuing quality research, so that the developing research internship policy for higher education institution will be enabled to engage and involve the self-motivated talent pool, manpower, those who are interested in the research, may useful for intellectual property gains of the institution and the individuals. So first of all, one has to understand the research is an integral part of higher education system and must be given due weightage to integrate with the teaching component of undergraduate and postgraduate curriculum. So before we focus on quality mandate, the graduate programs in the country, let us look at the various international reports on declining standards of research degree over a period of time. So in addition to considerable progress in various parameters of research performance. So this has been necessitated to understand so why the undergraduate level research internship is necessary. The reason is how to overcome the declining standards in the research that is happening over a period of time. So as per OECD report, India produces nearly 6 million graduates and 1.5 million postgraduates and only 0.25 lakhs of PhDs per annum. However, less than 20% were awarded against enrolled for PhD programs, in which nearly 80% of them are substandard rate. So that the enrollment in PhD programs increased, but the quality of topics chosen and this being written is constantly deteriorating. So to overcome this particular thing, so what kind of measures it has to be, intervention measures has to be taken. So the UGC has and NEP is also thought of that. Let us inculcate the research culture among the young talent so that when they feel to enter into higher education vertical mobility, so they can do some qualitative work. So that is the reason at the undergraduate level only this has been wanted to be initiated. So as per Global Innovation Index 2021 report prepared by WIPO reveals, that is World Intellectual Property Organization, reveals that India is constantly improving their rank from 81st 2015, I think, to 46th in 2021, and also stands top 3 among the lower middle income group nations. It is indeed a scientific wings like the Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, and Department of Space have played a pivotal role in enriching the national innovation ecosystem. So presently, there are about 325,000 technological ideas, innovations, and traditional knowledge practices from over 625 districts of the country has been recorded by National Innovation Foundation database. So the demographic dividend has potential to contribute for knowledge-based economy and also provide properly nurturing the young talent. So now it is imperative to improve the quality of the research by increasing the quality of UGPG programs by introducing research internship programs at UGPG level education. So it is the diverse learners who have the ability to perform better at given opportunity for research environment. Actually, why we look at this particular aspect is, so we are enabling the diverse learners to enter into the system. Mainly, we have 3 kinds of learners we found it. That is gifted learner, average learner, and passive learner. Normally, gifted learners are self-motivated and discovery and enthusiastic oriented. And average learner requires the motivation so that they can perform better. And passive learners normally requires attention is needed so that they have to create certain events to happen so that they can showcase certainly some interest. So this kind of 3 kinds of learners when we are having, let us focus on the self-motivated students so who can contribute in a better way. So this is a need to identify self-motivated students to enroll for graduate programs and also design specific curriculum for research orientation, such for diverse learners on topics related to research methodology, literature survey, patent review, and scientific and technical writing, publication ethics, etc. So the research specific internship must be 2 months to 6 months duration and also need specify the eligibility conditions for this particular aspect. So further, if you look at it has to be devised based on the learner ability in terms of their interests, attitudes, and motivation with a focus on holistic development and also promote cognitive learning among the students that facilitate for transfer of information from short-term to long-term memory or effort to recall the learned aspects. So if you look at these things very easily, And hierarchy need to identify broad thrust areas of research focusing on major and minor research projects for scholars and students. But however, for students, UGPG level should be a duration of 2 to 6 months, either group mode or an individual mode, based on must be involved in short and minor research projects. So faculty must be working in identified thrust areas as a major activity and allied areas as minor projects. So only 3 to 5 students to be associated with each teacher that we have to focus on. So this is not only making the things to workable, and there is a certain things we have to monitor and look at the aspects. So the main objective is to encourage undergraduate postgraduate students from all backgrounds to pursue in research careers and to obtain hands-on research experience in specified fields, and also to offer highly valuable inter, multi, and transdisciplinary research experience in leading laboratories or industry or higher education institution to students. So to learn new knowledge and skills in their chosen field under the supervision of leading faculty or researcher or scientists, and also to identify collaborating institutions, organizations that extend support for research internship program for the student from higher education institution. Further, the eligibility conditions which we are mentioning, normally the enrolled student of bachelor or master programs should be in good standing in their academics without any backlogs. So they must have completed at least 4th semester of their bachelor's program and 2nd semester of master studies. So before the respective start date in the research internship. And selection procedure is based upon the academic achievements in relevant college coursework and grades, and letters of recommendations and their ability to contribute to the goal of the research by the faculty mentors and who are there. So participants will be shortlisted only on the basis of their interest in pursuing higher education degree and overall evaluation of the applicant's profile. Actually, this is normally being practiced in most of the in national institutes of importance and as well as the international institutes. This particular practice is going on. So that kind of thing we have to adopt, which is the duration should be short duration should be the full time for specified credits, and full time should be spent at least 8 hours a day, and long duration can be a part time for specified credits. Part time should spend at least 4 hours a day. So that way this has to be worked out. And duration also depends upon the group or individual projects. The group projects maximum of 3 months to minimum of 6 weeks duration supposed to be there. Actually, this particular group projects enable the student how to work in a team, have a kind of team spirit and exchange of ideas. So that's do happens, and sharing of expertise also will be there. So individual projects mainly maximum of 6 months duration and minimum of 3 months duration supposed to be there. The research internship program should culminate with a research symposium at the end of the duration. So this is what normally we need to focus. Further, the nature of projects, normally a short research project, mainly discipline specific thrust area or interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, multidisciplinary emerging area, and work must be translated into a poster presentation. But minor research projects expand their research experience in specific discipline or allied areas, and it also to be translated into publications. So they promote research internships that involves a short theoretical or experimental research projects supervised by an academic staff member. So this is what normally we need to focus on. And further, if you want to look at, so this is mainly the logistics and support the institution need to extend. So the higher education institutions need to extend necessary logistics and support for research internship based on available resources and provide access to state-of-the-art facilities to pursue research, even other collaborating institutions which it is having. The student may be permitted to pursue the research internship in recognized research centers of research institutes or incubation centers or industry R&D and NGOs, etc. The higher education institutions need to identify the thrust areas of research based on the availability of expertise and resources, and director R&D cell of higher education institution in consultation with the faculty match student interest to available thrust areas of research. So this is what normally we do focus. And another important thing here is the National Higher Education Qualification Framework also mentioned certainly and multiple entry and multiple exit programs are there. So during exit system, there will be a 10 credit program should be offered during the summer, 2 months program. So that is in which 6 months should be related to the employment related and 4 credits related to the skill related. Skill related mainly the theoretical instruction and then practical orientation with the any kind of industry or organization so that they can have so the employment is possible. Similar lines now it has to be modulated. Actually the AICT and UGC has already given certain guidelines for industry internship. So that kind of model only should go for the research internship. If someone has gone through that particular 2 documents, so on the similar line, but it is not a research project what we normally offer at the 4th year new degree of honors program, and similarly the master degree 2nd year of master degree program 6 months or 1 year whatever is. For engineering education it will be 1 year, and science education it is 6 months is there. So it is quite different from those particular type of research projects which is part of the curriculum. But research internship only to gain certain motivation and interest to the student so that he can enter into further higher education studies, and if he develop a passion he can continue to do a good work in the research for these things. So this not only things, there is enabling research environment is another important aspect. So to motivate and disseminate the benefits of research internship to givers and takers, encourage the participation. Actually, this can be carried out through organizing various science and technology research fairs, exhibition, hackathons, etc. Actually, here both are there. So those who are sponsors normally givers and takers who are consumed through the technology transfer. They create a network of participating institutions and industry, and incentivization of internship program is required to popularize, and preference in next level admission and in jobs also we have to give. Like earlier we used to NCC, NSS, sports are there, some preference is there. Those who carry out the research internship also, there should be certainly some preference should be given next level of admission and job, because if research oriented programs are there, if student has carried a very good research work, some documented evidence is there, so that kind of thing also can be thought of it. And provision of financial compensation to interns and to the host organization, this depends upon, so based on the available resources, and incorporate internship in corporate social responsibility of the industry and give tax benefits, and identify the facilities of research internship includes 4 research labs, academic or industry setup, manufacturing of small, medium, micro, large industries, and social sector bodies, NGOs, etc. also can be considered for providing the enabling environment. But the curricula mainly design both theoretical aspects and practical and field studies to explore and evolve new knowledge or new solutions. So that kind of the curricula it has to be devised. And science and technology, students typically perform experiments and do literature searches and learn new techniques, so that help address specific research questions. And social science students typically perform survey analysis, search and literature, and find solution or intervention measures for socially relevant problems and the policy framework development. So there is main domains of the curricula supposed to be research conceptualization, research design, literature survey, publication ethics, IP and patent writing and filing, technical documentation, communication and writing, computation and informatics, questionnaire for survey, marketing, sales. So these are the things normally required. So finally, the monitoring the progress of this kind of research internship is necessary. The progress is to be monitored by the R&D cell of higher education, and weekly presentations providing short overviews of the research conducted in groups at higher education institution given by the respective mentors or their postdocs, and prepare a poster detailing their research project and present at the annual research event organized by higher education. So present their work to peers and faculty and mentors. So these are the things normally we focused on. And finally, just institution should focus on the pedagogical strategy. So the pedagogical strategy normally consists of 4 parts. We usually see the three parts: teaching, learning, evaluation. But here we have to see that is teaching, learning, training, and engagement. So this mainly for teaching is only delivering prescribed curricula as a teaching function we have to see, and designing and fostering as a learning function we have to see. For those we go for honors degrees and who want to learn beyond the curriculum in new and emerging areas, this has to be offered. And developing and facilitating training activities. So mainly the finishing school concept supposed to be there. So where we have to see that the student develops certain skills, so thereby he can get into the employment. And fourth is the research quests, mainly dedicating and managing the engaging the self-motivated students in the research aptitude. So these are things just once we make it so we can do the better way. And finally, it has to award certain credits to this particular one. Maximum of 6 to 10 credits may be awarded for the duration spent for the research internship by the students. And 4 credits must be awarded to the theoretical inputs or instruction on research methodology, research ethics in intellectual property, etc. And 6 credits exclusively allocate for experiential learning or problem-based learning or training, etc. So an exclusive certificate may be awarded depicting the credits earned for research internship after successful completion of the program. So these are the things just normally we look at. And with this, first of all, I thank you, the State Council Chairman, Professor M. Chandra Reddy, and Vice Chairman, Professor Ramohan Rao Garu, and who just asked to contact this particular university to make this consultation process. And also, I thank Venkatram Reddy for coordinating this particular event, and also the Honorable Vice Chancellor and Registrar and Principal who were associated with this particular event at the YVU. And I also thank the distinguished speakers who accepted to be part of this event. Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Professor Ravindranath, for your excellent presentation, which is very apt for this workshop. And you gave a lot of information about this workshop, and which is really helpful to, which is a good suggestion for higher education to give some inputs to the UGC. Thank you so much. And now I'm requesting Professor Reddy Arjula to speak on this workshop.
Sir, I request Professor A.R. Reddy, sir. You give basics of what is research internship, how to go, besides this, what do you call, guidelines, so that students, whatever the faculty members, they may be more interested in that area.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I just heard the exhaustive talk of Professor Ravindranath on all aspects of internship policy. And he also mentioned that the State Council of Higher Education, AP State Council of Higher Education, picked up Yogi Vemana University. Well, I'm happy that 15 years ago, when I founded this university, I used to say many times that this university will emerge as a science research center, enviable to everybody in Andhra Pradesh, because of the meticulous way by which we selected the faculty who have this scientific temper at that time. Any policy document cannot be a standalone document. Most important thing is policy just remains as a policy if we don't have implementation strategy. Policy speaks with a vision, but a strategic plan is very important to realize that goal and vision. What's happening now in universities across the state or states, I see there is very, very little scientific temper across the ladder, all the way from undergraduate to the faculty. Scientific temper does not mean only scientists or science students should have. Every student, every person who wants to learn something, who wants to achieve something in academics should have that scientific temper. Right now, what is prevailing across these campuses is a scientific distemper. People are just spending time on anything that's not creative. Now, when you want to implement this policy, first thing that you expect is to inculcate this scientific temper from the beginning at the undergraduate level. Now, who evaluates this student? Who regulates this whole system? University system of India already suffered with multiple regulatory bodies, 60 of them. If one expects, if one wants the system internship program succeed, it should be a very flexible system with desirable amounts of autonomy to the student and to the faculty member who agrees to train this person all around. Now, what kind of research now? When we are committing a student for internship in a faculty, who evaluates this? What kind of publications? How ethical are those publications? As a two-time vice chancellor at UGPG University and also some other neighboring university there, and associated with Government of India's higher education system, I know the lacuna that is there in the research. One has to take research very seriously if one wants to achieve something in academics. It is not just for a piece of paper to get a degree and get away from it. That way, if we don't choose a particular faculty member who is known for ethical publications, competence, then we are damaging the intern student. It will kill the scientific spirit in them once for all. So it is the pillar of all this system is a teacher. And that teacher has to be identified. Then the institution. Every institute need not be highly equipped or highly sophisticated equipment and a lot of faculty members trained abroad here and there. That is one thing. But for social science students, one can get beautiful ideas, theoretical research, surveys, as just now said. So there are implications in this. I must have trained more than 100 interns in my lab because I happen to have, at that time, cutting-edge equipment, globally competitive. And then I looked at them. I look at them right now where they are. They are doing very well. A lot of them have reached top positions, more than having set up industries for $30 million in some cases. So it appears, it is the faculty, it is that teacher, he is the whole and soul of this program. Less regulation, the better. Now, what is the criteria that you think that we should have? The student must have enough scientific temper and curiosity to do research. You can't force a person to do research. You can force a person to listen to your talk. You can force a student to get into exam hall, write exam, pass or fail, that's a different matter. But you cannot force a person really into research. And therefore, the teacher concerned must evaluate that students, keep an eye on him, what that student has been doing, what is his behavior in the class, whether he is enthusiastic or he is just coming here because of the force of the parents or just to get a degree and get out of it. That is where the critical thing that makes this program successful. I repeat, it is a teacher. And first, if you want to implement this program successful way in India, a lot of workshops should be conducted for teachers themselves and research leaders in private institutions. The ecosystem in the private industries and the university system is quite drastically different. And a student must be oriented before he chooses whether to go to incubation centers in an industry or a startup or a university system, Pakka university system, which is learning and teaching, or an institutional system where only research goes on. So there are 3-4 kinds of them. And interns, I am exposed to this US and German system of internships. Sometimes the internship changes the life of the student. Many students, Indian students, those who are studying in Harvard and Johns Hopkins or such institutions, where I was there also, several of them got internships with the members of parliament there, Senate members there, White House interns. And they already made a career. The moment they get into there is a highly likely that they will make a career there. So some model cases have to be taught to these students to enthuse them to do research. Research is a highly personal, creative effort. It cannot be achieved by GOs, policy documents, or regulatory announcements. It has to come from within. And that from that within, the respective institutions should prepare these students. Now, internship to whom? Undergraduate, postgraduates, PhDs, and I add faculty members too. Many faculty members who have patents have no exposure to industry. No exposure to industry. They will not know who will apply the patent, who is cheating them on patent licensing systems and infringement on patents, and so on. So internship is all the way from undergrad to faculty level, PhDs, post-PhDs. Actually, postdoctoral fellowships, that kind of, first of all, a short postdoctoral fellowship is already an internship. So this internship should be throughout the ladder, emphasis on those who are looking for a job, who will have to get a job or employment in one way or the other, either in industry or entrepreneurship or political leadership or anything, doesn't matter. For example, here, some intern can work in the assembly system, how the legislature works. So how the political manipulations work. So internships can be pervasive, all pervasive. Less regulation will be better for the students. Now, universities in states particularly, see, I come from Hyderabad Central University, where there is no depth of funds, 1,000 crores per year, our budget. So that's a different system. But the state system, research funding is in a very bad shape. Very little research fund allocated by the government, if not nil, sometimes nil. So you cannot expect a healthy, authentic, honest research at these universities where there was no funding. All they have to depend upon the central funding agencies like DBT, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, CSIR, Ministry of Environment, Atomic Energy, something like this. So a substantial budget for internship has to be developed, and one can calculate on the bench fees strategy. That is how much bench fees the institution will charge or the faculty will charge to train a student on the bench. If it is a survey, then travel charges. Estimates can be done and do that. But expecting state universities to provide a true, authentic, honest research environment for intern is an uphill task. I don't know how far that will succeed, but there may be some state institutions where there is enough funding, enough equipment, enough good ambience. Like, there are several Indian Department of Meteorology, Naval Sciences in Andhra Pradesh, mining institutions. Some of these industries that manage real estate industry is booming everywhere. So internship can be there also, all the way from sales, from creation of property, estimating. See, for example, it's astonishing that even MA economic students are unable to explain the budgetary implications when the budget is presented all over the nation on the television. This happened to me. I asked a student, can you tell me a difference between a fiscal deficit and financial deficit? No answer. So it's good on the policy paper, But in order to implement it honestly and to make benefit is difficult. And secondly, internship is not a choice. It has to be mandatory and obligatory. It will help the student. It cannot harm a student. So you have to make it obligatory so that a student will do in the nearby institute where there is a financial difficulties for a student to go somewhere because fellowship offered may not be good enough, not enough. If you go to big cities like Bombay, Hyderabad, you go very high living expenses. So what I mean to say is substantial budget has to be allocated. Accountability can be made, 100% accountability. Otherwise, this will become a routine program of spending somewhere 3 months on a holiday-like thing. If the teacher takes it easy, if the student obviously takes it easy, then the whole thing is flat, all flat. So one has to take those into considerations. A pool of teachers have to be identified, a pool of institutions have to be identified, and identified subject-wise, ambience-wise, standard-wise, and then make a list, and then the students should be made to look into them, go discuss with them. The fundamental thing is, it is the student who has to choose where he would like to go for internship. A teacher is the critical person here to motivate that student first to go for internship and then also where to go. That is necessary in undergraduate. By the time you come to postgraduate, the students will know where to go. If choice is given, where to go, they will know. So it's the levels of operations. So one has to be very, very discriminatory here. What standards have to be adopted at undergrad? What standards have to be adopted at the graduate level, faculty level, and so on. This faculty internship is not like a faculty development. Individual faculty member chooses an institution where that internship spend 3 to 4 months. We call it sabbatical, but sabbatical now is at a later stage. What we need is an internship at a young faculty. So they also should be put into this. That's what I mean now. Universities are still is the source of knowledge, undoubtedly. That is the source of pure knowledge. How that knowledge will be made available to the students by teaching pedagogy or research pedagogy. Then who decides the research problem? If the student is interested in solid state physics, but the rush is so much there, or semiconductors, let's say, the rush is too much there, then what else? What would happen? So you need to have a choice list, and when the competition comes, of course, there will be a method of selecting people. Select a panel and start allotting them. So it requires a micro level analysis too. The State Council of Higher Education is equipped enough to know which university has what. So if they have that list, one can coordinate with them and make a short list panel for students. For this college students, here is the problem. For this students, this is the place. Some maybe MCOM people or commerce people or management people may pick up, startups. Then you need a university where there should be a faculty member who can direct them, who can be liaison between those institutions and the university, or companies and a university, where that can facilitate the mobility of the student for internship. So what I suggest, what I think is, it's a great program, undoubtedly. This is long overdue. This is long overdue. Those who utilize this system really benefited already. I could see that. I'll tell you one example. A engineering computer science person from Srinidhi Institute and government Usmania University Engineering College, BTEX, wanted to learn genomics in my lab. They did, and now they are controlling the big companies. So had I not allowed them, they would have gone into HMT or PHEL or something like that. So They have chosen. I don't even know them. They have chosen. That choice must be left to students, where they would like to go. The more you control, the worse it becomes. So what I suggest, what I think is that this program has to be enforced, no matter how, but it has to be enforced, number one. Number two, take the teacher into confidence. He is the critical factor here to make this program satisfactory. And a linkage between institutions, university and colleges and industrial houses, in political or government institutions like CES, like CDFD in Hyderabad, or Center of Economic Studies, Center of Administrative Staff College of India. All these, some mechanism has to be created in the state whose job is only to do this in coordination with the university officials, authorities. That would help. The state council can go for it, full, and then implement it. Money is secondary. Of course, sometimes the entrepreneurs, they may not even charge. They might even pay. For example, somebody is interested in really vaccine production because that has a future. So if a microbiology student of a university would like to do a vaccination, then go for all these companies which are in Hyderabad, world's headquarters. They may not even charge. But in order to get there, you have to show something, why you want to get there and what is the basis for getting there. So these are the nitty-gritties of the management of these internship programs. But at the end, I would like to say, if you look at it deeply, who controls the research in India? Who controls research? Whether a qualified student teacher has independence to do research? Where are you getting funds? If you write for Department of Biotechnology, they will say do something to do with biotechnology. But if a student is interested in space, if he is in the university, difficult. So research is controlled remotely, indirectly, from above. The scope of research that is striking a path in research, a highly motivated, self-controlled path in a research field is no more with the teacher in a centralized scientific research funding system. That is where the problem is. Earlier, it used to be central funding and state funding. Now only central funding. There is very little industrial funding into research. In that thing, that has to be, if you, the best bet is internship program, best bet. Because it's not a long-standing program, it's a short, and you're upgrading the skill. For example, Professor Ravindranath said simply, very elegantly said, that the skills, this is to improve their skills. And one such skill is writing. Doing science is different, writing about science is different. Many good researchers don't know how to write, what to write. Now, writing program can be easily communicated. A good training can be given by a combination of a English language expert and a scientist. One can do that. For that, you go to any university, they have English department, they have a science department. So, okay, let's do that. That kind of a system can be done. Many students suffer both accounts. Cannot speak properly, not write properly. Not only science, even in arts. As somebody said, Vagbhushanam Bhushanam. Ultimately, the only jewelry that lives with you, even after long you're gone, is the ability to teach us, ability to talk, speak. So therefore, skills can be improved in many ways. If somebody wants to learn what a leadership, okay, go to an institution where such debates go on, debate, leadership program, public speech. So, very broad. Internship should be broad, not narrowed down. And internship should have a good mix of student, teacher, head of the institutions, or the administration of the university. And every university should have have a department for promoting internships. At least 2 or 3 teachers should be there on this job to fix the internships in all subjects, all departments. That will push. And I think this country, our nation, requires really this kind of a scientific spirit revival among students. Again, I said scientific spirit doesn't mean, scientific temper doesn't mean only for science students, but anybody who wants to do research and learn, teach realistically. Unless this is done, PhDs will deteriorate. The standards of the PhDs will further deteriorate. And you have to compete now. I suspect by year 2035, there is no need for PhD. PhD program may be eliminated, may become extinct, because government employment, where will they get jobs? Nobody wants to pay very high for PhDs. They will get away with MScs, well-trained, well-skilled. Jobs will be grabbed by them. PhDs will be needed only for universities. And universities are, private universities are coming. They may not even need, unless government puts a, continue with this law that you've got to be a PhD in order to apply for assistant professor. So when drastic changes are going to come, and artificial intelligence is just sweeping over under the carpet and over the carpet, it is difficult to compete with average quality of PhD thesis, MPhil thesis, and pure just a degree in your hand, which may or may not mean anything in the job market in future. Skill only matters. Really, skill only is going to matter. Because private people don't want to have people with a lot of degrees. They want people with students with good technical skill or competitive, very highly competitive and very good skill of all sorts. So this is what is coming up. So internship programs should take into these consideration into these matters. And I fully support, I fully agree with this concept that this will be a game changer in Indian academics here in our nation. That it's long overdue. The sooner we start, the better. And it should not be taken simply as just an introduction of one more policy paper, but go with full throttle. That's all. And then only this program can succeed. I wish all of you great success in this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Achal Reddy, for your brief note on this workshop. Really excellent. At the same time, very informative about the research internship. Research interest comes within as well. The word is enough to understand the theme of this workshop, how you precise and how you give the information about this workshop. As well, what is the role of faculty in motivating the students towards the research, this and all, and the skill of the students has to be considered. With this, it's a really good information about for this workshop, and it's a good suggestion which we can send to the higher education for their consideration. Thank you so much for Ajula Reddy for your suggestions as well. We are really very happy to see you again in this campus. With this, I'm going to hand over mic to N.V. Ramireddy.
Thank you very much, sir. You have given a very good overview of this internship, making a very good note that not only the policy, and it is very important to have good faculty to motivate the students and then get the things insight from the students instead of pushing them into the research. That they really helps the motivated students to take this program further to strengthen the research activities in India, to take up their entrepreneurship, whatever they have, like they can start the companies or they can go for higher education, do good research with the basics that I have learned in the research internship program, both in UG and PG programs. Also, you have given note on the social science people also. So I thank you very much, sir. We are very happy to see you again in this platform for addressing the students and other faculty members here. Now I go ahead and move to the next person, the Dr. Isvaraya Ramareddy, who is from ISER, working as assistant professor in the field of, plant biology. I request Dr. Isvaraya Ramareddy.
Thank you. Thank you, Venkat Ramareddy garu. Good morning, all. First of all, happy to see you, sir. Ram Reddy, sir. Maybe you don't remember. You're, I think, one of the reason why I joined from agriculture science to the University of Hyderabad, and then you told to me to continue there, even though many of other people say that why you leave agriculture science and come to University of Hyderabad. So at that time, you said that no, we have to do it. So I will just quote why we require internship from a young faculty point of view. Professor Ravindranath sir already gave overall view why NEP system is interested to do research internships. And then A. Reddy sir also pointed out that why it is required and then what kind of lacunas are there. On the paper, it looks so beautiful. And then when it comes to the implementations, what are the lacunas that are already there and how we are going to cover it. Now, from my side, I will just start at an antidote from my beginning, and then I will come back to how we are implementing this kind of research internships in our institutes already, and then how we are going to benefit it. So that can be scaled it up, right? So the first thing is I did agriculture sciences in agriculture universities. In most of the time, agriculture universities are work on plant breeding. So we use it to read plant breeding, everything. But at that time, when we are studying about it, we never have in any institute, any teaching institute, because agriculture university has agriculture colleges and research institutes. So we never have any laboratory where there is a PCR, a small machine to do all the things. We learn everything about marker assisted breeding, markers, all the things, but we never saw a PCR machine in our entire course. So, and then that makes us like, you always read a lot of about theory, but when it comes to a practicality, what is a PCR, how you design a markers or a primers, what going to be happen, we never had any thought, nothing. So there are always, because the infrastructure wise, then whoever the students who are interested, they try to go to the labs where they are more into the molecular side and then do it. But that opportunity nowadays, it's the same scenario in state universities where very talented, bright young students are there, but the resources, infrastructure wise or whatever, they are limited. Now, things are improved a lot. For example, compared to the other state university, YVU is blessed because there are so many facilities are already installed, keeping in this mind. Again, thank to Dr. Reddy sir, and then they are all doing very well. But we are not just talking about one university. There are several universities, even some PG colleges and others, where also so much of young talented students are there. Our entire education system is so much of theory rich, and then we are all very good in cracking exams. It's again based on theory and other thing, rather than asking a question. Like, for example, innovation doesn't come when we are not really practice or not you are not fail, because in theory, whatever we are studying about it, it is only we're asking. For example, when you are asking a question like who invented this, who developed that, it is, we are not going to get anything out of it. Instead of that, with that, what you are going to do, whether you can able to solve this problem or not, and then how you are going to do this kind of questions, when it is started implementing, or inquiry based questions, or solving based questions in our examination system, that will help us a lot. But then again, how that will be happen when you're already enlighten the students at the education level itself with the infrastructure, with the research oriented. When we do not have there, and then entire our teaching going towards always by the theory based. In a theory based one, then our students' ability to imagine or to think beyond that, for the implementation wise, they are failing. So how we are going to do that? And then, for example, Professor Reddy sir also pointed out how it can be done, and then he emphasized that the teacher is the main role, and then he is the key in the entire aspects. So there are some good examples in our country where this kind of internships are working very well, but this is only for the few people. For example, Indian Academy of Sciences, every year it doing summer internships. They follow exactly the same model what Professor Reddy sir is also following that. So it identified some of its members in different areas, and then it already advertised them. saying that these are the different areas of research. And then these are the expert in that field. So they invite applications from the entire country, and then they filtered it, and then they put them to that association member to their internship. Right now, what they are doing is they are providing entire information on the net, saying that you choose whomever you want to do. And then that member is a kind of is supported by Indian Academy of Science, because the student is supported in the form of some monetary stipend, and the member is also benefited from Indian Academy of Science contributions, so that this system was working very well. Because there it is not like you're going and then they're always maintain standards, because in order to identify Indian Academy of Science as a potential lab or a potential PI where internships can go, you should be again has to be kind of recognized by the peers. You should be kind of from your science, from your already the things, you should be recognized. Then the quality or the internship quality can be also be improved. Second, most of the NEP policies that we are talking about, and 10 years ago, these kind of the same thought has happened, and then Indian Institute of Science Education Research Centers, ICES, are established in the same kind of form. So what we do here in our ICES system is, from beginning onwards, we don't have a difference between biology, physics, chemistry, and mathematics stream. We teach until four semester, like 2 years of this 5 years integrated degree, all subjects. For example, a student who coming from biology, he start learning coding Python in the first semester itself. At the same time, I'm just giving an example of how we integrated different fields interdisciplinary in our system is, we normally tend to do experiments, for example, looking for mitosis and meiosis in the microscope. I'm just giving an example from life sciences students. So we tend to do a microscope and then see how the cells are dividing and then what are the different stages in meiosis. So that is what we are teaching in biology. The same students in the physics, he will undergo about how the microscope is built, what are the lenses, what are the objectives, what are the things that are going to happen. In the physics, we are going to teach them. In the chemistry, then the same persons and the same type of things, they are different kinds of chemical molecules, inhibitors and others. So we are talking about the small molecular inhibitors and dyes and others, fluorescent dyes and others. What is happening these ones from the chemistry point of view? So when you are talking a particular topic, the student was given an overview of different fields of sciences, biology, physics, chemistry, but they're all leading to one phenomenon. You are using it, and then this makes the students studying their internship, and then the internships are offered soon after these 4 semesters are over, where they were taught of all the courses, and then they have a choice. There is no mandatory. We have roughly almost around 250 courses, and then the students can choose whatever they want to do minimum credits. And then we encourage them in the first 4 semester that all 4 departments, I mean all 4 or 5, that's earth and climate science also, all 5 department courses, they can choose from of them. Now, after they were exposed to different fields with their interest, now the students can develop some kind of interest. For example, a person who until now studied biology, physics, chemistry until intermediate and then came into over here, suddenly he found an interest in earth and climate science. Other way around, he was studied mathematics, physics, and chemistry, or our in a central board, tried to get into IIT and then didn't get. Then later on, maybe he got ISA system, he intercame. Then he started understanding how iterative systems in biology systems are working. And then he did an internship like how we can do mathematical modeling in most of the biological systems. Then again, you see that the students, when they are having from a different prospect, then when they were exposed to different interdisciplinary sciences, they only come up with new thoughts. Then their interest is there. What we are just doing is we are supporting them. We are supporting them, and in the same time of internships program, what we do is not only we are encouraging them not only work in our own institute, we are asking them to go to neighboring institutes and then also within the country. So you go to the tie-ups with IITs and other ICES or other national laboratories. However, this is now restricted to the higher education systems, higher education institutes in India. Now, when we want to implement this at the UGC level, at the state universities level, where we require a lot of logistics and then support from the government. So how we can do that? Like, for example, I'm just giving one example of because coming from agriculture science background, in our state, in agriculture research centers, there are nearly 27 agriculture research centers are there, and then their mandate is to do research only. There is no teaching. And then suppose if there are somebody is interesting in the field of agriculture sciences and then others, in that agriculture research center, you know that you can do soil physics. I mean, physics related people can go, environmental scientists can go, and then biochemists can go, like all different kinds of entomologists, different kinds of fields. They can go and do mandatory these kind of internships. The same thing, ICR, CSR labs, they are only working on the research. They are almost welcome for this kind of internships provided when we are providing a kind of a support, a PA kind of a support, because research is always based on the consumables, at least in the life sciences, and then also like how we are doing it. I mean, I heard that they want to have, 4 credits in a soft skill development, which is really mandatory, which we also do now in all higher education systems in India. They always have a language department in English or in other even foreign languages also. Then we do teach them about communications in science, and then science journalism. That is another aspect we are teaching them. Then science communication, science journalism, and then mass communications in outreach of the science, how you can easily disseminate the knowledge of the science to a general audience. That is also part of the things that we are also doing it, and as a part of a science institute. Then this experimental coming to it, and then this is we were tie-up, and then the same thing I can just give some other experience from my German education institutes. In German system also, where I was also in the university for 12 years, in the German system also, they encourage these kind of research internships, not only in this country, they also ask them to send to different parts of the Europe, different parts of the country, and then they tie up. Do you remember? I think all of our IITs are in collaboration with the German institutes. Most of the IIT students went to the technical universities of the Germany, France, and then Italy to do an internship of 3 to 6 months. They are under MOU. So vice versa, there are also programs from German universities, so they support them to go to labs where they are. But these are all controlled and monitored by a vigorous system. For example, Professor Reddy has said that they required a dedicated team in the university who undertaking it, so that they do not dilute this. The moment it is diluted, the moment we are enforcing them that you should do 10 credits of this, 6 credit to research internship practical, 4 credits towards the soft skills, then again the whole noble thought behind this one is not going to serve purpose. I heard that Professor Ravinanda sir said that CSR, that for the companies that we can do that, and then I think since last year or before year, CSR funds are available for research also to put it in the public institutions. I think I never heard like there is no big company really doing that. They are not really putting that CSR money in the public systems in the research supporting system. So it has to, from the government point of view, the MSMEs and then bigger companies and others, when they say that the government should enforce, I should not say enforce, that government should see that the CSR fund should easily can be divertible for these internships. Now again, from a private perspective, why they should encourage the people to come into it, and then that they are doing it. At least we should show them our students are already a kind of equipped with the knowledge and the technology. Then what any company required is hands, a knowledgeable hands or technical skills hands. And then instead of even they don't not only offer the stipends, but they even benefited. And then this, if we started this at from a smaller scale, then scale it up to the higher level, then industry also see the benefits of this one. Then in our system, in our country, where the industry and academia systems are not completely bridged very well compared to other developed countries. So this is also an opportunity. Internship is also provide an opportunity to build this bridge between industry and academia. So it is a beginning when we can started doing this internship and training the manpower in that one. Automatically, companies will easily attracted for that, because they required in a large scale, right? And then I also echo the same opinion of Professor Reddy sir. We don't require 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs PhD students are produced every year in the country because we don't have the jobs for them. And then already a well-trained, educated, jobless PhD student is more harm to the society than a non-educated person. So it is not good that we provided so much of PhDs. And then he also given stats saying that 80% of the PhDs are substandard ones. So it is not required that we should produce that many PhDs, but what we required is we should be able to provide them ample opportunities before joining into the PhDs so that they can be available for the now the entire mantra is the startups ecosystems and others, so they can become an entrepreneur, they can become an MSMEs, so that is much easier. And then for the growth of the country, for Atmanirbhar Bharat or whatever make in India, this is the more better way of doing it, rather than we just increase them not with the aim of increasing the quality PhDs, which we don't require actually. So with this, I will try to, my time is also over. So with this, I'm also resting. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Dr. Ramireddy, for your experience as well as inputs, which is really helpful to implement the research internship in UG and PG colleges. As well, you made some points like funding as well as the implementation at UG level is we need to think of that. Thank you so much for your inputs. Now I'm hand over this mic to Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor M. Surya Kalavati, Madam Garu, for her comments and our suggestion in this, our message and suggestion on this workshop. Thank you.
So Registrar of the University, Vijayaragha Prasad, Principal of the IVU College and President of the workshop, Krishna Reddy Garu. Key speakers of today's workshop, Professor Ajul Ramchandra Reddy sir and Professor Ravindranath, Dr. Ram Reddy Garu, faculty, researchers and media. This is mainly focused on one-day stakeholder consultative workshop on research internship at UG and PG program level. So as a part of National Education Policy 2020, UGC initiated to conduct this kind of workshop with stakeholders to get feedback or suggestions on research internship with faculty at higher education institutions. So in this context, YVU is conducting this workshop to get feedback and suggestions from esteemed academicians and colleagues for implementation of this research internship in UG and PG colleges. In this workshop, we are going to discuss about the UP upgradation of educational policies in higher education institutions by implementing the research internship. So mainly we want to focus on how best the research internship will be helpful in a student's career. So the possibility of implementation of this research internship specifically in UG laboratories, the process of selecting the eligible students for this research students, possible sources for logistics and financial support for this program, and role of faculty in this program and strength of the students to be allotted per faculty. So in this thing, we want guidance from eminent people. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, madam, for giving your valuable message on this research internship program. Now, I request our principal, sir, Professor K. Krishna Reddy Garu, to speak on this occasion and give his message. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Venkatram Reddy. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Surya Kalavati, Madam. Distinguished Professor and founder VC of Yogi Vemana University, Professor Ajul Ramchandra Reddy Garu, Professor A. Ravindranath, Usmania University, and Dr. Ram Reddy, ISARS Tirupati, and our respected Registrar, Dr. Vijayaragha Prasad, and the conveners of this workshop, Dr. Venkatram Reddy and Dr. Chandrasekhar, Good afternoon. This is one of the good initiatives to provide the research internship at undergraduate and postgraduate level, but depends on the resources where we can mobilize the resource. For what I understand, for last 4 decades, still for the PhD program itself, we are unable to give cater from not only from the central funding and also state funding and also from the other private partnerships. It is extremely venerable for the UG program with 4 years research. If you go for that, as per the NEP 2020, we have to sort out a curriculum where really we can make the public participation, public-private participation, and or other industries collaboration. If we can have this such a pool money, government cannot initiate this kind of currency for the UG course. UG course, there will be more than what I understand, more than few lakhs of people are there. It is not possible. Among them, if you take the half of them also, extremely difficult for us to mobilize the resources. But research component is required. How far we have to keep in the academic curriculum the research component? Is it theoretical, or we want to go with practical, or we need to make with some kind of computational facility, or three put together? If we can add, that has to be designed. This curriculum must be designed, and it must be tested. As Dr. Ram Reddy said, it is very good. Germany and other countries, their structures, their academic structures, their curriculums and their financial resources are different. I had across the globe, I have seen most of the countries. I know the East Asians, Europeans, and also Americans and the Scandinavians. I have seen their research and their even their master. They take the very seriously. They produce their master degree and their master thesis defending also is vigorously they make it. But if you see here in India, we are having the lots of intrinsic problems which we are all facing as a teacher, as a student, and also as a common man. So if the UGC can throw light on it, because many experts are there, I believe from Yogi Vemana University, we want to say that for NEP 2020, for the 4 years of UG course, if we want to implement it at this juncture, we don't have the ability and facility from the faculty, from the affiliating colleges. We have some government colleges, we have. So my suggestion is we can go as a pilot activity. We can start with a few colleges where there is a real inputs, the resources are available, like GDC, government degree colleges, or some of the good institutions. We start with a very few from each district. Then hopefully this pilot project, if it is successful, we can go further. Coming to the PG level program, we need to have it, and we have to mix up with the companies and also with the private partnership, because nowadays the curriculum of the PG course is not to the mark, to the needs of the society, needs of the industry, needs of the global activity. So for the global sustainability of these academics, we need to have this kind of research internships for the postgraduate course, because in Andhra Pradesh, the post graduation is given only for the colleges, government colleges and the varsity. So the number is limited. So definitely we can try as a whole from the next academic year or the coming academic year we can start. Coming to the PhD program, PhD program is needed for us. Definitely in the PhD program we have to revamp something and rule, and the regulations. The PhD regulations must be modified. Otherwise, the PhDs which we are producing as per the science and as per the arts, humanities and commerce, this 80% of the PhDs are not sellable. So we are just mere degree producing and those are not at all useful to the society, are not neither useful to them nor useful to the society. So hope if we can change the pattern, definitely we can sustain for the PhDs also. Doctor of Philosophy's curriculum must be revamped. So in nutshell, I will tell for UG, we need to have the pilot activity in the specified colleges, government degree colleges, and if at all some UG courses in the varsity. The second thing is for PG course, we need to have the research as a component, and because of the limited number of the students are there, so that can sustain. For the PhD program, the academic regulations, PhD regulations to be drastically modified, and we have to find the stakeholder for the subsidy to them for getting this fellowships for them. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Krishna Reddy, for your constructive suggestion towards the implementation of this research internship in higher education institutes. Now I am requesting respected Registrar to Professor Vijay Prasad to give a message or a suggestion for this implementation of this research internship in higher education.
Good morning to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam, Professor A.R. Reddy Garu, who is our founder, Vice Chancellor of Yoga University, Professor Ravindranath Garu, who is now familiar to Yoga University, having conducted one such session previously. And I'm very glad to see a very enthusiastic scientist in the field of agriculture, Dr. Reddy Garu here. A very nice meeting you, sir. As VC Madam, sorry I missed US A.R. Reddy Garu talk. However, there are a lot of challenges and overwhelming problems to be appreciated rather than really straightforward that we can say that we can go ahead and implement at this juncture of time, because universities are short of manpower, short of infrastructure, logistics to straight away to say that, oh yes, we'll do that. I don't think that's the reality. If we say that we will do this, then I think we are bluffing. Because even as Principal rightly said, the regulations need to be very drastically modified, very stringently modified. There are so many loose ends that I don't know whether you look at any foreign universities, the internship is a very serious affair there. The student is given a liberty to walk around few labs. Sometimes they have extended internships, mind you. 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, they extend their internship before they really choose their area of work, their PI, which is not existing even in research centers, mind you, not even a place like university. So therefore, I think there is a lot of deliberations required before we say that we can do that. Rather, I think more and more such discussion boards need to be, you have to attract more and more people, make very concrete resolutions before saying yes to this program. This is, of course, some of these are purely my personal things. However, I think what other people said also need to be taken into account. Thank you very much. And I also thank Ram Reddy and this gentleman, TCS, T. Chandrasekhar, for taking efforts to make this a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable message. Even though you're saying it has to come to the reality, but definitely if you start somewhere, it will definitely come to the reality. One has to start making it, definitely it will be there. Now we will move to the next item of this program. I just shared the questionnaires. We have made like 10 questions regarding this workshop to give your inputs. I have shared the link which is containing 10 questions to the participants who have registered through email. So you can also click that and you can get back to us by filling the form. And also I request the participants, whoever are there, to kindly give your inputs or suggestions, anything, so that the speakers and other members will answer, and also we will note it down to put it into the guidelines if it is possible. So I request the participants whoever they are interested, they can straight away unmute it and then pose your questions or suggestions so that we will have particular answers. Thank you. Any faculty members from Yogi Vemana University or other participants who have registered can interact with the members. This is the problem we face always.
Why?
See, no, people will never interact. That is the problem. Everybody will listen. So if we start somewhere, then we'll have definitely.
How many participants are there at the general? 51. Very good. Very good. 5-1.
Venkatramani here, I can suggest one thing. For example, from the university point of view, since Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam is also here, suppose if we want to inculcate, and our university become the first one to put a practice model or something, what we can do is, so how we can go ahead. For example, how many of our faculty is interested to do the internship? Then if there are some really doing internship, how we can support them? So what are the modalities of this one? So if a particular faculty is really put some of his time to train and other thing, so how the university is supporting it, whether that is going to be putting into his CAS, how it is called, CAS or PBAS, what is that?
Yes, CAS only.
Career advance, CAS, yeah, right. So when you come up, like, when you say that, we are really interested in this implementing it, and then this is what we are going to get, and then that is how you will be differentiated from the rest of your colleagues, then they will come forward. And then what kind of support? Then if you say this, and then maybe some of them say that, okay, why not? There is a nice opportunity, and then it is a mutual benefit, and then they will be recognized. And then this system, we can immediately becoming like in Andhra Pradesh, then you can see that, okay, this is an implementing agency, because Chandra Reddy Garu for say that we can implement in YVU means maybe he has some kind of a positive impression on this. So when we can implement this one, then YU will become a kind of a model for the rest of the universities. So why not take that initiative first and then try to do it, so that will become much better. So that has to coming from the higher up, saying that this is what we want to offer. This is what we are thinking of. So then you can come back. Otherwise, most of the faculty think like, we don't have anything. Why I should come back and why I should commit for this? I am happily doing my teaching and then do whatever I have with my PhD students.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just want to initiate this. That's why
Sure. Actually, some of the departments at PG colleges and on our university also having some kind of project at the semester end. So we call it as a project, MSc project, instead of
Final semester.
Sir,
this is different. No, Ravindranath Garu pointed out that this should be different from MSc thesis and final year degree thesis.
Exactly.
Internship should be completely different.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask Ravindranath sir to give.
Actually, I wanted to mention the three important things because three speakers are giving their opinion. I've included the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, and the Principal, and Arjun Ramchandra Garu. One first session Arjun Ramchandra made with the research capacity building for the faculty. So that has to be carried out who want to be mentor for this particular research internship. So now UGC is launched earlier. There is a STRIDE program 1.0. Now the revised version is coming as 2.0. In that component 1 is there for research capacity building. So your university is eligible. So many affiliated colleges are there. You can take up that particular scheme and get the research capacity building for the faculty. So in that they will give certainly mainly focusing on the 4 aspects. First, advanced research methodology, they teach one component. And second is the research training component, they will be there on a specific, for science people, it will be scientific instrumentation, sophisticated instrumentation will be there. And social science and other people, there is a software usage, mainly statistical software and other things which they require for the research purposes. Third component, they will ask to do certain small mini projects execution model. And fourth component is only how to write the papers and prepare the proposals like that, including the publication ethics is there. So in that research capacity building, these four component is going to be there. So that you can work out in the next when the next advertisement comes for Stride 2.0, that is mainly scheme for transdisciplinary research for India's developing economies there. Actually, for it is only given to the 100 institutions for 1 crore. So those institutions who is not able to get that particular 1 crore, they can go on self-finance basis also, including public funded institution and private universities, they are going for that particular one. So that only you will get the tag, research capacities building center of the Stride scheme of UGC will be there. Like UGC, HRDC, you will be having that one. So that also the one aspect. The second aspect, just I wanted to, mainly the finances, just they are mentioning about. The finances normally, you know, the sports fees collected per annum from the student. Similarly, a research fund fees has to be fixed. I was told by M. Chandra Reddy, so that kind of fees they are introducing at Andhra Pradesh for the research fund, because fourth year there is a research component is there. So to mainly consumable and other utilities, this particular part is there. So if any capital expenditure is there, you have to write the project from the various funding agencies, you have to make it. So this is one of the aspects you can see. And here we are only tapping the self-motivated students. You are not importing, because now internship is mandatory for all the graduates. It is not research internship alone they have to do. They have to do the industry internship also for the employment or skill oriented related. And third component also, there is a possibility UGC may introduce community leadership internship. So which they have to interact with the society. Actually, I told in the beginning, there are three categories of students we are having. One is gifted learner, another is average learner, third is passive learner. Probably passive learner may focus on the community leadership internship. So that may be useful when you interact with the society and society problems, what are there, what kind of intervention measures will be taken, and what policies can be suggested to the government, so that even the social scientists also can do. And under your social NSS unit, you can do this particular kind of internship can be done for the certain students. So they, at least only out of 60 students, only 20 students is coming for this, and 20 students for going for employment, and 20 students may be going for the community. So three kinds of possibilities are there. So you can design this particular internship of 6 to 10 credits for any student have the choice to do, because Ramchandra also mentioned about the flexibility. So these things just you have to address. Registrar was also mentioning the same implications, how to motivate the faculty and other aspects, and this to be, whether it is to be. Another thing is here, it is how it is different. The curriculum based is the research project. So where in the MSc programs, a semester will be there. And in now fourth year honors program, then under new education policy, supposed to be a research component. So that is totally different. This is always a short duration to inculcate certain research motivation and culture and scientific temper among the students. So this will be a short duration. Once they involved in this kind of activity, then they develop to how to pursue a research project, and further higher education also they want to do. So those who are participating in this kind of internship should be given certain privileges and some incentivization supposed to be there, either in the form of admission in higher education. Earlier, NSS and sports and NCC they used to give certain priorities also to be given those who completed things. And this also another advantage for student employment aspects also. If they have completed some research projects, so when they attended the interview, that will advantage will be there. So institution should not look for the these things. Another thing is the corporate social responsibility. If you are able to interact with the industry, so there's a corporate social responsibility, they fund it, and some tax benefits is there. Since university is a public funded institution, that also you can think about. So this way, just you can work it out and proceed further. Okay, this I wanted to say. Okay, if any doubts, just you also can ask, no problem.
Thank you, Professor Ravindranath. Is it, as you said, that means we need to select the students for the research internship, not all the students, right?
Actually, it's only selective students only. That first of all, there is in the actually PhD guidelines also they mentioned university or in department has to identify certain thrust areas. Even faculty also certain focused areas they are working. So that has to be displayed. Students should come on their own interest, because Ajula Ramchandra was mentioning. So same thing, just If self-motivated student comes, he chooses the particular problem, approach the teacher, then it will be easy. If competition is higher, there should be a selection process. So based on their internal grade marks or otherwise some synopsis, if you are asking to write that student why he is interested in this particular kind of research. So that way the selection criteria you can make it only up to the limitation, because maximum of 3 to 5 students only one teacher can guide. Normally undergraduate program should be as a group project, but postgraduate program should go in PG internship should be as an individual project, so individual minor or short project, I can say. Okay, this way.
Is it possible to do the internship with the research fees what they provide to the institution? Some internship will be costly, some are depends on, right?
So actually, what you are charging for whether a student is participating in games or not, sports fees you are charging. So in your fee structure. Similarly, whether he is participating in research or not, research fund fees are supposed to be there. And he will doing the other opportunity of the industry internship, or otherwise he is doing the community leadership internship, whichever is there. So that should be either state government level you have to take a policy, or the university level you have to take a policy, that particular fee structure. Okay. So that will be some support of recurring grant only. The capital grant, so you have to go for any funding agency or the corporate social responsibility or industry sponsored research and consultancy, like that only you have to be. Another important thing, just I can suggest to any internal receipts you are having, tuition fee receipts, at least 5% you should allocate for a research fund as a corpus creation. So the corpus interest can support this particular activities in the future. So if that you start, suppose you are having a 10 crores of receipts are there per annum. So in that receipts, if you make another 5% of that, around 5 lakhs or whatever is there, 50 lakhs it will be there per year. So the interest, whatever we are receiving from that, also you can make the things. Okay, you can create the corpus and go ahead. That's all.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Explore the opportunities. That's all. Sources. Explore the source of funding or revenue generation. Okay.
So request the participant to interact. Any participant?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Shashi?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Please go ahead. Where are you from?
Sir.
Huh?
Sir, I'm from Kadapa, sir. I'm from Kadapa,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
I'm a student
Which
of degree
college?
college in rural area. Government college.
Okay. What is what is your question? Ask. Please ask.
If the internship is not compulsory, is there any difference between degree certificate we obtain 3 or 4 years?
No.
Hello, sir.
It is
Not compulsory.
internship is mandatory, but student has to choose one of the three, whether community leadership internship or otherwise industry internship or the research internship.
Okay. So you got your answer, Sesi. So you have to choose whether research internship or industry internship or community internship. So it is compulsory. So depending on your credits, depending on your interest, depending on your thing, you have to select it. Any more questions? Any more questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, good morning to you all, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Please go ahead.
Myself, Mr. Nagaraj, sir, from Nagarjuna Degree College, Kadapa.
Okay. Yeah, Nagaraj.
Sir, I want to put something in front of you, sir. Sir, you said that you are selected, you are doing it on a pilot project, and you are about to start this pilot project on the government colleges only. So my sincere, sir, let me finish, sir. My sincere request to you is, sir, please extend this to the private affiliated colleges also, sir, because I'm sorry to say some of the government colleges are suffering with poor admissions and some other areas, and if The opportunity is given to the private affiliated colleges also. Some colleges are having sound in research, some colleges, sir, and sound in having good faculty and all, sir. So you look into this and consider it is as a request.
Raju, are you a faculty member or a student?
I'm a faculty member of the college, sir.
Okay. Sir, Ravinder sir, can you throw on that?
Can I throw? Okay, I will add on this. Okay. Actually, you can, because the university want to take a certain policy, let us go for accredited institutions for these things. Okay. If you want to start the research internship, because certain facilities, certain score, they might have been made during the NAC accreditation. So such institutions you can give it. So if private college is having sufficient facilities, if you normally before giving the research internship facility, normally whether it is in a position to get recognized as a research center or not. So that you ensure, and then you can extend it. So that is another way. Because here the collaboration is one of the important thing. If they don't have the facility, wherever the facilities are available, with that they have to, institution has to collaborate. Certain private colleges doesn't have the facilities, so they can collaborate with either government institution or a grade accredited institution of any private college which is having the facilities, or otherwise industry also they can go, or research institutions also they can go. Now it is totally open for this research internship by not only the national labs and national institutes of importance and some other universities, and also internationally it is more than 25 countries and nearly 200 and odd institutions are offering open internship. If student is interested, he can apply for abroad also. So that opportunity is there. Okay. So that it is only 2 months, 6 weeks to 2 months, 3 months. And sometimes if student is doing good, they extend automatically. They are providing certain stipend from 750 euros to some $2,500. That's how it will be there. So that particular opportunity, they can avail it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Nagaraj sir, yeah, if you are really interested, you can make a collaborations with the neighboring institutes, and then you can start the thinking.
Sir.
Yeah. So any
Okay,
more
sir.
questions
Thank you.
from the participants?
Sir, can I speak, sir?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm
You
Dr.
introduce
R.
yourself and speak.
I'm Dr. R. Kameswari from SRR and CVI Government Degree College, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible. Just go ahead, madam.
Sir, is this internship, the undergraduate students are supposed to have first 4 weeks of internship after second year and 6 months internship after in the sixth semester. Are we talking about this internship for the summer time or 6 months internship in third year, sir?
Actually, 6 months internship is a part of curriculum. It is devised. This particular
Yes.
internship is only certain credits to be awarded to student to get motivated for the research as a career. Okay. If you want to pursue further higher education, this may he use it. So that one, it is only from 6 weeks duration to maximum of 3 months. They can do during summer or in between, wherever it is possible. Otherwise, you can do if that institution is itself is a research institution having good research facilities. So he can do part-time also. Weekly, he can spend 4 hours or 8 hours of the way he wanted to per day, or weekend, whatever the way he can choose it. But total number of hours should meet certain credit norms. So once he meets certain credit norms, he can pursue the submit a research paper or present a poster presentation, or the teacher can periodically evaluate and through the seminars and individual review meetings. And finally, if they award certain credits, that will be under academic bank of credits, it will be there. So it will be flexible enough to transfer. And they very well, the academic bank of credits enable the mobility. Even a student is doing somewhere else, other institution, decides from your place, okay, he is coming to Hyderabad or Visakhapatnam from Kadapa to, can do in that way also. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Our principal sir will add to this. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Ramreddy. Actually, the academies, National Academy of Sciences and also INSA, they are giving the internship in the summer. So that can be also utilized under the pilot activity. And one more is the best way of pruning it to a certain level, really it has to work, is the institutional based. As the Miru says, all the varsities will be graded. Some of them are for academics, some of them are academics and research, some of them are exclusively for research. So based on that, the institutional excellency, if we can take as a parameter also, it may work. It is one of my feeling and suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your message. Any more questions from the participants? I have shared the questionnaire. Please go through that and then give your feedback so that we will consider your suggestions and answers to make the report, if not directly interacting. Is anybody who is interested to share your thoughts?
Ask them to fill the.
Any participants? The better to interact now so that you will get.
మ్యాక్సిమం కలుస్తాం కదా రోజు ఆల్మోస్ట్ 2 రోజులు వస్తారు, 2 కలిసి మాట్లాడతాం కదా.
Srinivas, MCA Srinivas, you want to say something?
Something.
Venkatramana sir. Looks like nobody is having questions. They are more clear what is internship and how to take up these things. Yeah. If there are no questions, can we conclude, sir? Ravinder sir? So because Ishwar Ramreddy sir has left because he has class at 12:30, and our former Vice Chancellor Ajul Ramchandra Reddy sir also left the meeting because he has another program going on.
Actually, indeed, myself also rescheduled my class.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, because
was there 11 o'clock. Your meeting was there, then I rescheduled to 2:30.
Because we have a series of things going on because of these things. I really appreciate you, sir, for having chosen us as one of the institute to start the stakeholders workshop to get feedbacks and to make the guidelines for this workshop to you, and hopefully we will give some feedbacks received from the stakeholders, and also we have noted out the points raised by the different stakeholders as well as the speakers and our university authorities. Definitely this will be going to be helpful in formulating the things. If no other questions,
You can also share with your state government and state council so they can initiate certainly some sort of support.
Yeah, whatever the report we make it, we will definitely share with our higher education council.
What I personally feel that here, so because there are common entrance tests are there, a lot of revenue is coming from that particular entrance test and admission fees, whatever counseling fees. So some portion can be allocated to the respective universities of that particular fees towards research development. So that can also, you can seek the things, okay, from the state council. Okay.
Actually, we lost the income, sir, because of this common entrance test. University is not having any fund.
That's the reason the institutions has lost, because they are getting, so they can portionate some fund towards the research activities, research fund to the institution. That's only just I am mentioning.
The ground reality is you cannot support even for the PG students' laboratories. That is the fate of at present. Yeah, I think that we need to have to consider for this.
Okay. So I will just propose a vote of thanks. If there is no further questions, I am requesting one more time. If there is anything, you can write to us, or we will note it down, and then we will communicate to the higher authorities in the questionnaire report. Questionnaire, we will see once, sir. Once we receive the answers from the questionnaires, I will make it into one document, and then I will share with you, sir, so that we will make a report based on that. Okay, so now I will propose vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks. I am very much privileged to and honored to present this vote of thanks. I thank our administrators, Professor M. Surya Kalavati Madam, Vice Chancellor, for giving us the opportunity to proceed with this stakeholder consultative workshop. Thank you, Madam. And I will also thank Professor D. Vijayaragha Prasad, Registrar of this university, always encouraging to go ahead with this kind of workshops. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate the inputs and encouragements of Professor K. Krishna Reddy, Principal of this Yogavamana University College. Thank you for your valuable input, sir, and also encouragement in future for conducting this kind of workshops. And also we take your help in formulating the guidelines in our institute for forming the research internship. And I thank Professor A. Ravindranath sir for giving us the opportunity to hold this workshop. In future also, definitely we will have more kind of these interactions and work with you all, sir. I profusely thanks Professor Arjun Ramchandra Reddy sir. He readily accepted our invitation without saying no, and he has given overview of this workshop problems and then suggestions to go ahead with the internship at various levels. We thank you, sir, on behalf of Yogavamana University and our own behalf of. We thank very much. And one more speaker, he has given a very good message on this occasion. Dr. Iswaraya Ramreddy, a young scientist from ICER, Tirupati. He has given very good information. Also, he has initiated the discussion. We thank Dr. Iswaraya Ramreddy for his message and information on this occasion. We appreciate your valuable time, sir. And all the participants interestedly participated and registered. I hope we received some of the information which is useful to start and think on the research internship at your institutes. We thank each and every stakeholders, participants, students. Some of the students also actively participated. On behalf of this organizing committee, we thank all the participants. Finally, we thank the media and non-teaching staff and other supporting staff who helped to make this workshop a grand success. And also I thank my colleague Dr. Chandrasekhar, who initially thought having both we are conveners to make this workshop a grand success. He helped me a lot to make this workshop in a good shape. With this, I conclude this workshop. Thank you very much, sir. We will meet you again, sir, sometime. We will call you, sir, Ravinder, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time and the valuable message, sir. See you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, Varuna. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we are signing.